What's going on, everyone? It's me, your favorite science experiment, also known as your favorite mistake, also known as Armed OG, Triple OG, and I'm back with another video. But as always, before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're not new, welcome back. And if you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing. It's free, and it'll majorly help me out. Think of it like a good deed, if you will. Please subscribe, or else a ghost will come haunt you tonight. Now, as you guessed by the title and thumbnail of this video, I'm going to be attempting to do the Perfect Investigation Challenge series again because it got an update and it wouldn't complete it. It changes a lot of the game, so I thought I would restart it. And it will bother me that I never got a Perfect Investigation on Apocalypse 3 in the old version of the game, but before the Chronicles update, but still. Before the Chronicle update, but still, anyways. Let's do this. So as always, I'll be starting off on amateur. Hopefully I don't die. If I die, that would be embarrassing. Like I said, the reason why I'm restarting this challenge is because when the Chronicle update changed the way the game works. Okay, let's do this. Wait, what are my challenges? Capture 2 unique paranormal sounds with a sound recorder. Capture 3 unique photos with a photo camera and get an average of below 25 sanity. Okay. Get an average sanity below 25%. Okay, there we go. Ghost orbs already. I thought power was automatically turned on in amateur. I guess they must have turned it off. And it should be getting cold sometime soon. So, the most BS thing ever happened to me at work yesterday, so I might seem kind of upset. And if I do, I'm sorry. And if you know me in real life and you know where I work, please don't tell this to my boss because I was never supposed to talk about this after me and him were done talking about it. But, so a few weeks ago, there was one of my coworkers. And I was bagging for her. Even though I'm a cashier, sometimes I like to bag because why not? I mean, we're allowed to do that for each other if there's no bagger, but or if the bagger is busy. But anyways, I was bagging for my coworker, my fellow cashier, and there's this lady that walks up, and she has a Bible verse tattooed on her arm. Now, wait, actually, before I continue, there's one part I forgot to mention. Me and this coworker, she doesn't like talking. I love talking about religion, but she doesn't because her beliefs are different than mine. And that offends her. But anyways, back to the story. So she doesn't like talking about religion, and you know that's okay. Not everyone does. But I see this customer. So like I said, I was bagging for her, and a customer walks into her line, and I see that this customer has a Bible verse tattooed on their arm. It was Philippians 4:13, I'm pretty sure, which, if I'm correct, that verse states that I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Which basically means that God gives you the strength to be able to do anything you would like to, as long as you set your mind to it. Anyways, so I said to the customer, I was like, hey ma'am, what does that verse on your arm say? And then the cashier, my coworker, she answered before the customer could even open her mouth. And then of course, that started a conversation about religion. And then at some point, the beliefs our different beliefs came up, and then when once that was over, at some point she just started saying that women are better than men or something like, or I don't know if I can't remember if she said that, but she implied it, that women are better than men. And and then she said, well, with that, I was like, that's not true. And she said, shoot, I can't remember exactly how the conversation went. I didn't take notes because I didn't think it would end up where it did. But she basically implied, I'm not, like I said, I can't remember if she said that women are better than men, but I'm pretty sure she implied it by what she was saying. And I was like, women are not better than men. And she was like, yeah, without women, men would never exist. And I said, well, that same logic could be applied. Without men, women would never exist. And she was like, yes, they would. Because, sorry. She was like, yes, they would, because women, they're using bone marrow to recreate sperms, like to mimic sperm cells and get women pregnant. And I actually talked about this part in one of my other videos, and I looked it up, and that was not true. They were trying to do that, but they had never successfully done it like she had claimed they had. And then at one point, she got so offended, I guess, she reported me to the manager, like to the store manager. And then I got in trouble for it. Even though she, one, started even though she involved herself in the conversation about religion, and two, even though she she was the one that said that women are better than men, or at least implied it. And my boss said, the manager I was talking to this about, he said that once we leave this office, this conversation never happened. And of course, I didn't remember any of this. Well, I remember the lady with the Bible verse on her. I'm walking to the line, but I couldn't remember. And I remember that she started the conversation, like it was because of her that this conversation was happening, but I couldn't remember exactly how. All I remember, well, at the time I was talking to my boss, all I remembered was that I asked what does the Bible verse mean, and that was the last thing I remembered. But of course, my boss was like, once we leave this office, this conversation never happened. And so I said, okay. And of course, I didn't remember any of this until after I left the office and the conversation was done. So even though I remember it now, it wouldn't matter because the conversation, I'm not allowed to talk about it with anyone, not even my boss. Almost forgot ghostwriting. Oh, great, that's always fun. So basically, I'm just stuck enduring the consequences because my opinions and beliefs offended someone, even though they brought themselves into the conversation and started implying things like women are better than men. I'm just stuck dealing with the consequences, and I can't tell anyone about it because my boss was like, once we leave this office, this conversation never happened. You cannot talk to anyone about this conversation. And I didn't even tell my best friend about this. Photos, burn crucifix, different ghost forms and ghostwriting. Okay. I just needed it to hurry up and burn the crucifixes. me go ahead and get more salt. And that conversation, that happened like within like about, no, not within, that happened within like the first 30 minutes of my shift. So that threw me off pretty much the entire shift. For the rest of the shift, I was aggravated and upset because this person, I thought they were my friend and they betrayed me and then made me the bad guy. And yeah, it just upset me and threw me off the rest of my shift. And I was being like rude to the customers, and I did not care. I mean, it just upset me so much because this person, they said they cared about me and I thought they were my friend, but they weren't, I guess. And they haven't spoken to me since. And a few weeks ago, they started giving, after this conversation happened, they started giving me the cold shoulder, and I never knew why. And then yesterday at work, when I was having this conversation with my boss, it all clicked. So, and I want to tell my mom, but my mom knows her mom. That's the reason I want to tell my mom. But then I don't know what her mom will do. I don't know if her mom will go to my boss and say something. I don't know if her mom will say something to her and then she'll say something to my boss. I don't know what's going to happen. And honestly, I'm kind of scared to find out. And I don't want to tell my dad because my dad's a manager at the place he works at. And so chances are, if he has a problem with something that's happening, he'll go say something to my manager. Because like I said, my dad's a manager, so he knows how it goes. Shoot, I forgot why I went to the truck. Ghost orbs. I only need 2 more videos. This is one of the things that makes the game harder now. It's because you gotta wait for the evidence. Now I need 2 more photos. Look at this one. Look at this one. I heard it throw something. And since it's amateur, it's probably gonna take forever for my sanity to go down. Dang it! I messed up. No, I can't do that again. I wonder if I wonder if blowing out a firelight will count. Let me go try that. And this conversation that I've had with my boss about, you know, the beliefs and stuff like that, it's all I've been thinking about since pretty much last night. I mean, since the conversation happened. Because like I said, I thought this person was my friend, and yet somehow they made me the bad guy. When they evolved themselves and they started implying that women were better than men out of the middle of nowhere. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. I think that the photos might be the hardest to get because, well, because I've already ran out of things to take photos of, and I only have 3 photos. I'm just honestly scared to move on to the harder levels. Oh, I missed such a great opportunity just now. Okay. I heard it throw something, I thought. Okay, there we go. Object thrown. Now time to get out the sound sensors. I wonder if it will count as unique evidence for the sound sensors if it blows out the fire, since I already got that on the camera. I wonder if it will still count. Normally the sound sensors are the hardest thing to get. And that's also one of my challenges, unfortunately. And honestly, I'm kind of scared for the moment when it starts hunting. Because it's going to be fast. Come on, blow out the fire, please. Yep, okay, it counts. Now all I need is one more photo. As well as 2 more sound recordings. Will that count as unique? No, it does not. What about that? No. Well, there go all my deletes. If I fail this, I'm going to be so embarrassed. Okay. Time for me to go and not be in this house anymore. Well, until I get more sanity. much sanity do I have? Where is it? Oh, well, there goes that opportunity. There we go. And I'm honestly kind of scared to watch it hunt because, well, if it hunts, it hunts. But I might need it to hunt if I want to try to get the rest of the evidence and stuff that I need. Yeah, I can make it here. Was that a ghost noise? I don't know if that was ghost noise or not, but what I do know is that I'm going to place down some salt and see if walking through the salt counts as a ghost noises. Okay, so yeah, I had a feeling. Oh, what? Are you gonna walk through the salt for me, please? There we go. Now all I need is a photo. I'm gonna try to get it to hunt, and I'm extremely nervous about this because revenants are insanely fast. Unless if a ghost event wants to happen. Okay. Misc. Sanity. Where are you? Where's the bone? Do you speak to anyone? There we go. So I can immediately switch to the incense. Because this is... I swear if I die... There we go. Lights are off. It worked. I was so nervous. Well, I did it. Do I have all the challenges done? Yes, I do. For me, that was a little bit nerve-wracking. I thought I was gonna fail.
Welcome back. I've prepared some jobs for you.
$101 for media. There we go. Perfect investigation on amateur difficulty. That's where I'm gonna end this video. So remember, if you liked what you saw, please consider liking and subscribing. It's free and it'll majorly help me out. Think of it like a good deed, if you will. Anyways, until next time, goodbye.